Good morning, all of you. Today, in today's Advanced MS Excel Certificate course, on day 7, we are going to cover the following topics, which are groups and subtotal, followed by tables. In, in tables, we are going to see that how to create a table and what different types of table formattings are there. After completion of table, we will move to charts followed by conditional formatting. So these are the four topics which we are going to cover, and these are very basic, and if you practice it once or twice, you'll be very habitual with these topics and it will be very easy for you to implement. So as in the previous lecture, we have covered topics like sorting and filtering, where we have sorted our data which is stored in a Excel sheet, and also we have performed filtering operation, and after performing basic filtering operation we have also uh, tried some advanced filtering option where we can get data matching on the criteria. Okay, so now quickly I would like to take you to the today's session, where we are going to first discuss groups and subtotals. Now, as a worksheet, it consists of lots of data. So, when a worksheet with a lot of content, it can sometimes feel overwhelming and even become difficult to read. So, fortunately, Excel can organize data into groups. Means if you have large amount of data present on a single sheet, if you want to read it, if you want to read the same data, so that becomes very tedious sometimes, because you have to scroll here and there, and once you scroll your Excel sheet either in upward direction or downward direction or in left to right direction, what happens, data moves from one side to other side and you are not able to see all the required thing at once. So accordingly, for the same problem we have seen freeze pane option, but it can only freeze either a column or a row. But here, what we can do, using this group option, we can group certain certain range of data which we need to constantly see and which we need to group together. So that is possible by this particular function, that is group function. So it allows us to easily show and hide different sections of your worksheet. Means on the same worksheet, what you can do, you can divide it into different sections. Means you can create different groups in the workbook, and then you can group them together, and whenever you want you can have access to that particular group, and if you want you can hide that group so that the group will be not visible for a particular time, and whenever you want you can view it. So this is how the group option helps you to summarize different groups using the subtotal command and create an outline of your worksheet. So group doesn't only allow you to group your data what is available on a worksheet. Other than that, it also helps you to summarize all the groups which you have created by using subtotal command, where subtotal provides you the total count of elements or total count of a particular cell value depending on a particular group. Okay, so all these examples will see now. Now to group rows and columns, select the rows or columns you want to group. Okay, like in this example, it has selected first name, last name and payment method together, and then it has grouped it. While creating a group, either you can create a group vertically or you can create a group horizontally. So when you are creating a group horizontally, what you are doing, you are grouping rows. And when you are grouping, when you are preparing a group vertically, at that time you are grouping columns, means you are preparing a group of a column. Okay. So as I said, that we can create group either horizontally or vertically, means either row wise or column wise. So how to create that group? Now we'll see that with the help of an example. Like, here is my table, that it is the same table on which we have practiced yesterday. So suppose this is table, and what I want to do, I want to create group of these three columns. This column B, C, D, which consists of first name, last name, and T-shirt size. Okay. So when you want to prepare group of this particular columns, what you can do, you can just select it, and then on the data menu ribbon or data tab ribbon, you can find an outline section towards the right hand side of your screen. You can find an outline subsection on the data tab, and there you can find these three options, that is group, ungroup, and subtotal. The moment you click on group, what happens? It provides you this option to group. So the moment you click on group, just see what happens now. The moment you click on group, what happens now? I have created group. Okay. Now what it does, it creates a group here. As you can see, the group has been created column wise. All these three things have been column together, and here the moment when I click on minus sign, what it does, it hides the entire group of column. As you can see, I have created a group column wise, but here it also created it row wise, because I have performed subtotal operation on it. Now likewise, if I undo all the operations and I keep my seats in the previous state, just see what happens. Now this is the original seat, and when I'm selecting these three columns and I'm clicking on this group option and then I'm pressing group, so what it does, it only creates group vertically, means it is only creating a group of these three column. No row has been created in form of group. So the moment you click on, you create a group, what happens, you can see a line above those three columns. The moment you see these lines, at the end you can find a minus sign. The moment you click on this minus sign, what happens, it hides that selected section of that sheet. Now as you can see, after column A, directly column E is visible. The column B, C, D are hidden now. Why? Because I hide those three columns by making use of this particular button. And the moment I click on this plus sign, what happens? It expands those hidden columns, and you'll be again able to see these three columns together. So this is how you can group a part of a sheet. Like if the sheet is very large, it consists of uh, many columns which is not able to fit in single screen. So at that time, if you want to read your data, instead of scrolling, what you can do, you can divide the entire sheet into different groups, and accordingly, whenever you want, you can reduce any of the group and you can read other columns. So this is how the feature of group can help you to group your informations in a single sheet in a smaller section. Now this is what the example of a group which I have created on the basis of column. Now if you want to remove that group, so what you need to do, you just select this, go to ungroup option. Like to create a group, you have to go to group, and to ungroup that particular group, you have to select this ungroup option under the outline section of your data tab. Now what you do, just click on ungroup, or you can also press shift plus alt key plus left arrow key together. The moment you do that, what happens? It will be ungrouped. Now you can see the line which was visible previously, it is now not visible now. So you can say it has been ungrouped. Now you cannot minimize or maximize it. So this is how a group can be created in column wise. Now if you want to create a group row wise, like I need to create a group of only these section. Okay. And below 18th row, I am not able to see anything else. So what I'll do, I'll create this particular section. I'll select this particular section. Now I want to create a group and I go to this particular group option. The moment I click on it, it provides me the option, right? Because I have selected a section of a sheet, not the row, not the column. Like in the previous example, we have selected three separate columns only, not the section of that column. So it will allow you to select an option whether you have to create a group row wise or column wise, because I have not particularly selected a column or a row. As you can see, it is a combination of both, means I have selected a cell range. Now for a cell range, it will provide you the option that whether you have to group it row wise or column wise. So if I select row, what happens? Just see. Now here, besides the row numbers, now here you are able to see there is a vertical line which has a minus sign at the bottom. It is a button. The moment I click on this button, what happens? It will hide your selected group. The group which you have created, that will be hidden. And now it will shift upward, and whatever rows which were below row number 18, those were not visible to you. Now it is visible to you in a single screen. Now the moment if you want to expand that particular group which you have hidden, just click on plus sign and you will be able to see that particular group. So this is how you can create a group row wise. Now suppose if you want to ungroup, you go to that and just click on ungroup, and then it will ask you whether you have to ungroup a row or column. So we have grouped rows, so we are going to ungroup rows only. Now if I am clicking on columns, it is not going to work. Why? Because I haven't created any group on a column. I have created a group on a row, so I have to ungroup rows only. So click on OK. The moment you click on OK, your group will be removed. Okay. Now, like I have selected column. So what if I select a row? Like I select the entire rows. This section of rows I have selected. And when I go to group, so it will not ask me whether you have to group it column wise or row wise. Why? Because I have selected all this range of rows, not the range of cells. Okay. So this is how it does. Now suppose if I want to make a group of these columns, I can click on it. As you can see, now here there are two groups. One is row wise, one is column wise. When I click on this, it goes like this, and when I click on this, it goes like this. So it hides both rows and columns, and only this section of the sheet is visible to me because they are not part of any other group. When I expand it, I get this view. Okay. And now if I want to ungroup, then it will ungroup that column first because it is selected. And when I click on ungroup again, it will ask me whether to ungroup rows or columns. So I have to ungroup rows only. Okay. So this group option, I will repeat it once. Okay. Like this is the sheet. If you want to perform group operation or ungroup operation, first thing what you have to do, you have to select a set of data. A group can either be created vertically means column wise, or it can be created row wise, that is by selecting rows, or neither column nor rows. What you can do, you just select a range of cell. So this is the range. This section if you want to group, you can do that. If you want to group this entire section, you can do that. If you want to group these two columns only, you can do that. The entire two column will be grouped. If you want to group it in this way, you can do that. All rows will be grouped together. or just a subsection of a sheet can also be grouped. Okay. Now the moment I want to perform a group, what I can do, like here I am selecting this particular option. So what I'm doing, I am just selecting this range. What I'm doing, I'm selecting this range where it is ranging from B cell number D5 to cell number D16. So this entire range I want to create a group. So you select this particular area, you go to group option. The moment you click on group option, it will ask you whether you have to create a group rows wise or column wise. So if you want to create a group rows wise, you can click on rows and click on OK. And again, if you are going to click on group, and then it again asks you the same thing, because already you have created a group rows by rows. Now you can create it by columns. The moment you do that, the entire area has been selected in form of a group. Okay. Now this feature is known to you. Now what you can do, you can, by using this plus and minus sign, what you can do, you can expand or hide the particular selected section of that particular sheet. As you can see, this is how you can do that. Now if you want to ungroup it, so just what you do, just go to ungroup option and select that which thing you need to perform, whether you have to ungroup it rows wise or column wise. So first select rows. Okay, so it will do that. Now for that you have to go to that particular section that we have selected. Okay, and then you can click on ungroup and click on group. The group will be ungrouped. Now here the same operation for removing your group column wise. Okay, and now the, the previous example which I have demonstrated was for section of a sheet. Now what if you want to group the entire column, means entire section of column. Now suppose if I select this B, C, D, the entire column, and I want to group it, the moment I click on it, it will not ask me to perform group rows wise. Why? Because I have selected entire column, entire column. So it will by default create group column wise. Okay. And if you want to hide, you can hide it. If you want to expand, you can expand it. And if you want to ungroup, you can ungroup it. The same way, if you are selecting entire row, then the moment you click on group, it will not ask you to perform either row wise or column wise. It will directly perform a group on that selected row directly. And if you want, you can expand it or hide it or expand it. Okay, so this is how it can be done, and you can ungroup it. So now, as we have seen that how to create a group in a particular sheet or in a particular section of sheet, what you all can do, apart from just grouping it, you can also perform subtotal operation. Now, a subtotal operation allows you to perform count operation, sum operation, average operation on a selected part of your worksheet. Okay, so suppose if you have created a group, and if you want to perform count operation in a particular group depending on a particular cell value or a particular column or a row, so that particular thing can be performed, and the formula or that particular operation of count, average or sum will be applied on the entire group. Okay, so like I would like to give you an example here, how to demonstrate how to make use of subtotal. Like here you can see under the data tab ribbon only, you can find subtotal under the outline below group and ungroup. What you can do, just go to subtotal option. Okay, and the moment I click on it, what it does, it by default selects the previous selection what I have selected previously. Okay, what it says, it quickly calculate rows of related data by inserting subtotal and totals. Okay, now I don't want to do that. Instead of that, what you do, just think that on what particular column you have to perform subtotal operation. Now I can see that I have t-shirt size and I have payment method. These two things can be counted. Like if I want to know that how many t-shirts are of smaller size, how many of them are of medium size, and how many of them are of large and extra large. So if you want to count in that way, like if you want count of all the small t-shirts together, if you want the count of all the medium t-shirts together, and if you want the count of all large and extra large t-shirts together, so there is this subtotal option is handy. What you can do, you can first make them in a group and then you can perform count operation. Now, like when I click on this subtotal operation, what happens? The dialog box, the subtotal dialog box appears in front of you. So it has these three input options at the very first. Like these are the three input options. This is the first one, second one, and third one. First one, second, and third. First is the add each change in. Like now here, which column you want to use? Okay, so what I want to do, I want to perform it on t-shirt size only. So what I will do, I will click on t-shirt size, means at each change in matlab that if the value of that particular cell changes, so it should be operated on that. Like if another small t-shirt, another small size t-shirt is added to the list, so it will count it. Okay, again if another medium size t-shirt is removed or inserted, so it will count it. So that is why add each change in means it is specific to a value. What if the value changes on that particular column? So that is why we need to select that. So at each change in, what I'm doing, I'm selecting the column t-shirt size. Then it is asking you to use the function. Now these are the functions which are available. Like you can perform sum, you can perform count, you can perform average, you can perform max, you can perform min, you can perform product. So these are the some predefined operations which can be performed on that particular section. So now suppose what I'm doing, I need to perform count operation. I need to count. I need to get the count of all the sizes of t-shirts. So I click on count and it then asks you add subtotal to. So where to add that particular subtotal option? So I need it in column t-shirt size. So the value which will be counted, so the total count will be displayed under this particular column only. Now here this t-shirt size is to tell your Excel worksheet or to tell that Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel to count, to get the count of t-shirt only. And here at the bottom when I am specifying t-shirt size, so what I am telling that the subtotal, whatever the subtotal will be of that particular operation, that need to be inserted in that column only. Okay, now here there are these three options. One is the replace current subtotal, then page break between groups, and summary below data. So what does it mean? First option, replace current subtotal, means if any other available subtotal is there on the sheet, so that will be replaced, means that will be removed and new subtotal will be inserted. Page break between groups, suppose if you have created multiple groups, so you can insert page break, means each and every group will be displayed on a different page in a different section of page. Okay, but they will remain in the same Excel worksheet. Then you have summary below data. So that option is selected here. That is checked. What does it mean? Apart from showing the count, it will also display the summary of the entire selection at the bottom. Okay, so we have selected only these two, and till now we haven't created any group. All the groups have been removed, so I am not selecting this particular option. Now suppose if you want, you can do that. If you have groups, so it will automatically create page break between the groups. Now click on OK. Just see what happens. The moment I do that, as you can see here, all the t-shirts with small are together and they are counted. The value is 8. As you can see, the count is now displayed here under this column only. Now for medium, there are total 10 medium. Then the large count is 5, and for extra large 4, and this is what the summary total, the summary of the subtotal has been given over here. If you count 8 plus 10, that is 18, plus 5 23, plus 4 27. So the summary has been displayed at the bottom of the data. Okay, so this is how your subtotal operation can be very useful. And also you can see the moment I perform that subtotal operation, it also grouped the entire sheet depending on that particular thing. Means all the data related to small t-shirt has been created into one single group. The moment I click on this, what happens? That will be hidden. All the data related to medium size t-shirt has been grouped into another section. The moment I do that, what it does? It hides it. And similarly for large, similarly for extra large. So this is how you can see that the summary, this is what the summary of entire group is given over here. That is small count is 8, medium count is 10, large count is 5, extra large is 4, and grand count is 27. Now if you want to know the exact details about the small count, you can click on this. The same way for medium, and the same way for large count, and the same way for extra large count. So this is how it can be done. In the same way, if you want, you can do it for payment method also. Now again go to subtotal and just click on this particular option. Okay, I have selected that particular thing. Just don't select it. Okay, and just go to subtotal. Okay, now just click on page break. Just see what happens. As you can see, each group is now displayed along with the page break inserted in it. Okay, so this is how it works. Like you can see this thin border line for each and every section. As you can see, this is one section. So this thin border line you can see between this is how the large is has been separated, this is how medium has been separated, and this is the small. So this is how you can perform grouping and perform subtotal operation on a Excel worksheet. Okay, is that okay to all of you? I hope you all understood it. Now as I can see that all are saying yes, they have understood. So now what I can do, I can move to the next section of my today's session, that is working with table. Okay, so when we are talking about tables, so tables are very useful tool to organize your information. Okay, so once you have entered information into your worksheet, you may want to format your data in form of table. Just like regular formatting, tables can improve the overall or entire look and feel of your workbook, and tables makes your data more organized. Okay, and they will also help you to organize your content and make your data easier to use. So to format data as a table, we will do some set of operations, and within table also you can do lots of formatting. There are lots of formatting options which are available under table. That is what we are going to see now. So this is my worksheet. As you can see, this is the format of an invoice. This is the format of an invoice, and this is a section which consists of the data. As you can see, there is no border in it, no cells are highlighted, nothing is there. It is just the plain informations which are entered in cells. Okay. Now, if you want to give this particular section of a sheet look of a table, what you can do, you can just select this entire section. this entire section as I have selected here. Select this entire section, and what you can do, just go to insert option, and then you can click on table. Okay, that is one way. Another is what? On the home section only, you just go to this border option in the home ribbon tab, and what you can do, you can just select all borders. The moment you do all borders, yes, a plain table will be visible in front of you. Okay, so this is one of the simplest way, but you are not getting formatting options here. Okay, you are not getting some table formatting options. This is just what you have done. You have provided borders, but you haven't done anything else like a table should have. So what you can do, you can just select this particular area, go to insert, and then go to table operation, or you can also press Ctrl T. The moment you click on table, so what it does, automatically it will select that particular area. Okay, here you can say the total cell range, and my table has a header. Okay, that is checked. If you keep it unchecked, so just see what happens. Click on OK. So it will convert the entire area into form of table, and here above you can see column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4 has been entered by default. So whenever you are creating a table by making use of insert option, so if you are not specifying that your selected region consists of the header section, so what it does, it automatically insert its own header section. Okay, so now I undo the entire operation and I do the same operation again. I go to insert, I go to table, and just see here in the selected range what it says, my table has headers. I have checked it, it has been checked by default. So when I uncheck it, so it will insert another header. So instead of that, I need to use the same header as I have inserted earlier. Means menu item, unit price, quantity and all needs to be treated as header only. So I can click on, I can check that option, and I can click on OK. The moment I do that, what happens? So this is how it creates. Okay, now as you can see, what is happening, that your this banner area, the banner which I had created, that is also getting converted into table, which shouldn't be the case. Okay, my table area is only this much. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to select this particular area, and only this area needs to be converted into table. So what you can do, instead of selecting the entire thing, only this is your active table, because here this section is your banner, where it consists of the logo, then the data or the information related to this particular invoice, order number, invoice number, and date. So my active table is only this, starting from menu item to this particular cell. So my active table starts from cell A2 and it ends on D9. So the range is from A2 to D9. Now I select this and I go to insert, and then when I click on table, okay, keep this option checked and click on OK. The moment you do that, now you can see a proper table is visible to you, and here this menu item, unit price, quantity and line total has been treated as a row header. It is the row header for your table. Okay, and also you can see like we have performed filter operation, so the filters are also visible. Like if you want to sort your data or filter your data depending on the name of item, or depending on the price, or depending on the quantity, so you can do that. Like if I want to check that which how many products are there, for them 15 quantities have been placed, so I can check, I can get the data. So this is how you can do that. Okay, Now suppose if I want to check for products with 10 number of quantities, I can do that. So this is how. So whenever you do that, it automatically converts it into table, as well as it provides you the filter option. Okay, is that clear to all of you? Now, as we have seen that how to convert our area into table, apart from that, what you can do is there are some special formatting features. Like in the previous example, what I did, I just provided borders to the selected range. So it was very plain. Now the moment I have converted into form of table, I have inserted table. What happens? As you can see, the cells are highlighted with different colors. They have been provided different background. So if you want, you can change them also. What you can do, you can just select this particular area. Now here you can see the design tab. That the moment you insert a table, you will be able to see this design tab option. If you have inserted just border, so this design option was not there. Now if you want, you can come to table style. From table style, this section consists of different styles of table. Now if you want light tables, so these are the various options. Like this is very plain option, then this is the another option. If you select this, so the color thing will be gray and white. Now here it is sky blue and white. Here it is somewhat greenish grayish and white. Then this is what. So these are the different color. Now if you want some more dark color, so these are some more dark color option. Okay, now if you want extra dark, so these are some extra dark color option. If you want to insert a new table style, you can click on it, and from here you can select your table styles. Okay, so this is how you can do that. Now apart from that table style, if you want, you can include or exclude filter button. The moment I click on this option, means I uncheck this filter button option, the filters will be removed. Okay, now here like branded rows, yes it is there. Header row, yes it is there. Now if I uncheck, so header will be removed. Got it? When I click on branded rows, so now the table got very plain. Now as you can see, all these things are into plain. Now the moment I click on it, what happens? Again, it shows one row in a blue, one row in a white. So this is how it goes. So that is what banded rows and banded columns option. If you want your table to be banded, so that can also be done. Okay. So last row that will be highlighted from total rows. So that count will also be given. Okay, automatically. You don't need to perform any mathematical operation. Automatically what it does from the entire thing, total row, the moment you are inserting your total row, what it does, the final amount will be calculated. See, it has not calculated total for unit price and quantity. It has only done for line total. That is depending on the column name. Okay, so accordingly, it has done that automatically for you. It has prepared the total. So these are some different options which you all can make use of. If you want to remove some duplicate values from your table, you can do that. If a table has a duplicate value, that can be removed. Okay, now if you want to change, convert to range, so convert to range option is useful for you to convert a table into normal range of cells, like into the previous state. The moment I do that, what it does, it converts it into normal normal cell, means the formatting will remain same, like the backgrounds, the cell color, each and everything will remain same. The only thing will happen, the table will be removed. As you can see, now there is no table in it. Okay, so the table thing has been removed, but the formatting has remained. Okay, if you want, now you can't get any formatting option, neither you have any table option. So I just undo, you will be again able to see this design. Now the table has come back. So convert to range option is used to remove table. Okay, it will remove the table which is there in your Excel sheet. The moment I click it, it will convert the entire table into simple cells, but it will remove the table from it. But also one more thing, apart from removing the table, whatever formattings have been provided while creating a table, that format will remain there. Those color themes will remain there. Only the thing is that the table part of the entire selection will be removed. Okay, if you want, you can resize your table. If you want, you can summarize your table with the pivot table. Pivot table, we are going to cover it tomorrow in the upcoming sessions. That we'll see. That is the part of advanced Excel where we do it for data interpretation and all. It is very advanced feature. Okay, that will cover later. Then remove duplicate, then insert slicer. If you want to slice your table, you can make use of slicer option. Like you can slice it on the basis of menu item, unit price or quantity or line total. Accordingly you can do that. Okay, so the moment if I want to slice it, it will insert a slicer for that entire line total column. Okay, now if I want to remove it, I can remove it. Now again go to design. So these many options are available. Now if you want to export your table, you can do that. Okay, export table to SharePoint list, it can be done. Okay, so this is how you can create a table, you can insert a table, you can resize it, you can remove duplicate data from it, you can summarize a table to pivot table. Though pivot table option we haven't seen today, we will see it later in the next section because it is a separate topic. Okay, and this is what the formatting options are there. If you want, you can put filters over here. If you want to put banded rows, banded columns are here, total row, first column, last, the things are there. You can perform various types of formatting. So this is what we can do with table in MS Excel. So as I can see that all are clear with this particular uh, table thing. Now we can move to chart. Now for chart, this is the Excel sheet which we are going to make use of for the demonstration of charts, and this is the challenge sheet which is for your homework. As we proceed, basically just would like to give a brief intro of chart. Basically, chart you might have studied in your mathematics or statistics, and also you have used somewhere where you want to represent data in form of graphical format. So these charts can be very handy objects to represent your information. So as we use Excel, it can be difficult to interpret Excel workbooks that contain a lot of data in form of text or numbers. So charts makes it easier to understand, to illustrate the content of the Excel sheet. So charts allow you to illustrate your workbook data graphically, which makes it easy to visualize comparison and trends. Means it will allow you to compare with different data. You can compare different trends. You can represent your data in form of graphics, in form of different charts like pie chart, bar diagrams, line diagrams. Okay, so these are the different things you can make use of by making use of charts. So this is how it is a very handy object or very useful object in Microsoft Excel, which allows you to represent your information in a very innovative as well as I can say in a very attractive way, so that it becomes very easier for a person to understand your data. As you can see, this is the example of a chart where it has a prepared chart for book sales, and as you can see, there are different colors bars are there, where all these bars represent a specific type of information. Like the here the bar with blue color represents the information of January month, yellow represents the information of February month, then red represents the information of March, and accordingly green for April and this brown for May. And here you can see classics, mystery, romance, and sci-fi, fantasy, and young adult are the genres of the books. These are the different genres, and this is what the figure, the total sales figure. So accordingly, by just having a look at this particular chart, you can know that the sales of classic books are very less in the month of April, and then it is highest in the month of February. In the same way for romance, it is highest in the month of February. It is least in the month of January. And if I want to perform the overall comparison that which book is sold most, so I can easily say that it is romance books. And as you can see, it is clearly visible from this particular information. And if the same information would have been displayed in form of table, so this kind of analysis would have taken lots of time. Why? Because you have to go through each and every cell, and then you have to compare each and every cell together. But here, instead of comparing cells, reading cells, what you can do, you just represent the entire information in form of simple chart, and where a person can visually see the differences in the type of data which you have in your sheet. So this is how it makes it very easier for you to do that. Now what to do for inserting a chart? Now let's go to our practice sheet. This is our practice sheet. Now this is the table which we are going to make use of. The table consists of the columns genre, January month, February month, March, April, May, and their total sales figure. Genres are classics, mystery, romance, sci-fi, fantasy, and young adult. Just you must remember that what your table consists of. Now, if you want to insert a chart, what you do, you just go to that insert tab ribbon. The moment you go to that particular ribbon, now here under the chart section you will be able to see these many options available for charts. You have recommended charts, and these are the different types of charts which you all can go through, and you have pivot chart. Now recommended charts are the options which are very advanced, and what it does, the moment you click that option, so Excel recommends you different types of charts depending on your data. Means it automatically analyze your data, and whatever charts are suitable for your data, that will be recommended to you. Apart from that, if you want to put any of the chart or insert any of the charts of your choice, what you can do, you just click on any of this particular thing, and then you can click on the arrow down to it, and you will be available with different charts option like 2D columns, 3D columns, 2D bars, 3D bars, or more column charts. Click on that, you will be able to get these many options. And again, if you go to recommended, so these are the recommended one which are suitable for your data. So now I will insert this particular chart. The moment I click on it, what I want a 2D. So the moment I do that, now you can see that this is a chart which I have seen in the previous example. So this is what consists of. Okay. Now this is the chart which has been inserted, and the moment you click on insert chart, what happens? The chart is automatically inserted in the same worksheet in which you are working or where your table was. Now just analyze. Here what happened? Genres. All the genres have become row, and all the sales figure, sorry, all the genres have become your column, and all the sales figures have become your rows. Okay, and apart from that, all the months which you can see are being represented in form of these columns, vertical columns, and they have been represented by by particular color. Like when I click on this blue vertical bar or column, what I see in the table this January month is highlighted. Okay, because this blue vertical column represents the sales figures of January month, where it is less than $20,000. Okay, as you can see, what is the figure here for Classic? It is 18,580, which is less than 20,000. And if the same thing you will see for Mystery, so just check for Mystery, it goes to near about $80,000. And the same thing when you see for sci-fi and fantasy, it goes to somewhere around 16, which is lesser than the Classic one, and that is why it is below $20,000 range. So this is how the data has been represented. Now the moment I click on yellow line, you can see this yellow. So the moment I click on this yellow column, what happens? The column C has been highlighted, which consists of February sales data. So this is how it is done. Now the moment I click on this particular thing, so it represents all your genres which are here represented. So that becomes the column. Means one column will consist of the sales related data to Classic only. One will consist of mystery. One will consist of romance, sci-fi and fantasy, and young adult. So this is how you can prepare your chart. Now what other things you can do? If you want, here at the top you can see chart title. So it has been created by default. Basically, it is not a suitable title for your chart. So here in this particular text box, in place of chart title, you can place a suitable title, like we can say book sales. So it is a chart related to book sales, and click on, just click anywhere outside that particular text box. You can say the title of that particular chart has been changed. Okay. Now just click on this plus option. The moment you click on this particular plus option, what you can see that what things you can add. So chart elements, axes. So axes are the x-axis and y-axis. Apart from that, you have chart title. Then you have grid lines. Then you have legends. Legends are nothing but these figures of 0 to 1,40,000, and these Classic, mystery, romance, all these are the legends, the labels which are displayed. Okay, the moment I uncheck it, what happens? All your legends, like which are representing your months, that has been gone. Apart from the moment I click on grid line, so the grid will be gone. The moment I click on chart title, the chart title will be invisible. So this is how it does. Okay. Okay. Now the legends are displayed here. Now apart from that, if you want to insert something else like titles of the axis also, like the moment I do that, now here it shows axis titles. So what you can do, you can enter here sales, no? You can put sales, and here you can, for x-axis you can put, now here for x-axis you can put it as genre. Okay, and apart from that, if you want data labels, so the data labels, the moment you click on, so the exact figure will also be displayed, data table. So along with chart you will be also able to see the table for which the chart has been created. Error bars, so if you want to represent some kind of error bars in that, so that can also be done. Okay, so this is how your chart can be modified. And then here another option is there, that it will allow you to perform, to select various style and color options. Okay, so these are the various style and color options you can choose from for your table. Okay, so these are the color option, and then you have this particular styles of charts. Okay, the trend line, like add a trend based on a series. Like the moment I click on January, what happens, it will select a trend, okay, for this month. So this is what it shows. Okay, trend line is basically, here it provides you a color bar where the colors brightness will increase or decrease depending on the value of that particular uh, cell. Okay, so that is what trend line is consist of. Okay, so these are the various options which you can use, and I will remove these axis titles. Okay, data labels will also be removed. So this is how it can be done. And apart from that, if you want, you can also put filter on it. Okay, like if I doesn't want to get the details of January, so accordingly you can do that. Okay, so if you want, so these are the series value. If you want, you can make changes in it. Okay, so whatever changes will be made, that will be reflected over. So these are some formatting options for your chart. Now, as you can see, the chart has been inserted in the same Excel sheet. Now, what if you want to move this particular chart from current Excel sheet to some other sheet? What you can do, just click on this particular chart, and here in the design option, you can see at the end, there is a location. In location, it consists of move chart. The moment I click on move chart, it will provide me an option to move the chart to a new sheet where I can say chart 1, or I can say sales. The moment I do that, it will create a new Excel sheet in the same workbook. Here, as you can see, book sales has been created, and here this sheet will only consist of that particular chart. Okay, and apart from that, here what else you have under design? Move, change chart type, then select data. Okay, the data here you can select the range, and switch row and column if you want. So when you do that, so it will switch the rows and columns. Okay, now what it does, here the moment I am clicking on it, so instead of classic, mystery, romance, sci-fi, fantasy to be a row, what it is doing, it is putting them into columns, and January, February, March, April and May will become rows. So this is how it does. Okay, apart from that, you have this change color option, then you have quick layouts. Okay, and then add chart elements that we have already seen. These are the design option. Apart from design, there are some formatting options where you can select your plot area, format selection, select pane, the fonts, this your borders. Okay, border colors and all. If you want save fill, if you want to give a specific color to it, you can select it. Okay, the background, if you want to give a picture background, that is also possible. You have to select a picture from your computer, and that picture will be used as a background of your chart. And apart from that, if you want some shape effects, so that shape effect can also be provided. If you want to give a 3D effect, that is also possible for the shapes which are there. Okay, and in the same way, if you want to change the chart type, uh, that is also possible. Okay, chart style, here you can select line, click on OK. Okay, so line chart is appearing now. If you want to convert it into some other format, that is also possible. You can go to chart type, and you have area, you have radar, you have stock, okay, tree map. So these are the various options which one can select. And when you go to recommended, so these are the recommendations. Now, like if I click on area, so this is how it will be displayed. So these are the various options for charts which you can make use of. Okay, is it clear to all of you? So now as I can see, the chart is over and you all are familiar with this particular topic, and you all said that yes, it is all understood by you. So now I will quickly move to the next section of today's topic, that is conditional formatting. So now we'll move towards conditional formatting. That is the last topic of today's session. You can see conditional formatting. We have also seen other type of formatting in the earlier sessions. Let's say you have a worksheet with thousands of rows of data. It would be extremely difficult to see patterns and trends just from examining the raw information. Similarly, like in case of chart, in the similar way, you can present your data by making use of conditional formatting. So the conditional formatting provides another way to visualize data and make worksheets easier to understand. So understanding conditional formatting. Conditional formatting allows you to automatically apply formatting such as colors, icons, data bars to be one or more cells based on cell value. To do this, you will need to create a conditional formatting rule. First, you have to understand that what type of rule you must apply, and accordingly you can format it. For example, a conditional formatting rule might be if the value is less than $2,000, so the color should be red. By applying this rule, you will be able to quickly see which cell consists of less than $2,000, because all the cells will be highlighted by red color. Okay, like I would like to display you here one of the example. We'll go to our worksheet. Here in my Excel worksheet, I can see that this is the active sheet. Now it consists of sales data, where the column A consists of informations of salespersons, means names of salesperson. Then column B, C, D to G consists of their sales data for months like May, June, July, August, September, October. Now, if in this case I want to know that if I want to get, or if I want to highlight the cells with value less than 2000, what do I need to do? I just need to go to conditional formatting. This conditional formatting is available on the home tab ribbon itself. Here you can go to conditional formatting. The moment you go to conditional formatting, you can select this down arrow, and the moment you do that, these many options are available, like highlighting cell rules, highlight cell rules, top bottom rules, data bars, color scales, and icon sets. These three we'll see later. But before that I can see highlight cell rules. So now these are the various cell rules are there on the basis of which you can highlight a particular cell. Basically this option will only be used to highlight cells, okay, depending on a rule. Like if I want to highlight a cell on the basis of a value greater than, a value less than, value between a particular range, equal to, text that contain accordingly, or duplicate values, or other than that you can use some specific criteria for your formatting. Now here in this case we need to highlight cells which are less than 2000. So what I do, I put a value like 2000. The moment I do that, it will also ask me that what color you want to use for highlighting that particular cell. So by default it has selected as light red fill with dark text, okay, with dark red text. Apart from that, these are the various options which are available. If you want to perform some custom formatting, that can also be done, okay. So fill color you can select it from here, font style, number, all these things can be selected from here. So I prefer the default format only. Click on OK. The moment I do that, what happens, all the cells which are less than 2000 will be highlighted. As you can see, it didn't work. Why? Because I have selected only one cell, okay. Now if I select the entire area where I need to perform conditional formatting, and then I go to this option, then it works, okay. And what I do, I put simply 2000 and I click on OK. The moment I do that, I'll be able to see all the cells which consist of value less than 2000. Okay, in the same way, now what if I want to highlight cells which are greater than 10,000? Okay, so I can put simply 10,000 here, and here the formatting option is light red fill with dark red. No, I cannot choose that. Okay, so what I will do, I will select green. Okay, as you can see here, these names are also formatted. Okay, let's see, we'll clear it, no issue. And the cells which are remaining, which are white, now what we can do, if I want to format them also, what I can do, I can go to between. Okay, in between, what I can put, I can give a range 2000, and here range 10,000. So if anything is between 2000 and 10,000, that should be highlighted with a yellow color. Sorry, again I have to select the entire area, then only I can perform the operation. Now between, here I am selecting 2000, and here I am selecting 10,000. And what I am doing, yellow. Okay, click on OK. What I do, as you can see, all the cells present in my selected area have been highlighted by any of the color depending on the rules what I have applied. Now suppose specifically I say that I want to highlight a color depending on a value. Okay, so what I can do, I can go to that particular formatting, equal to. Now the moment you choose this option and you enter a specific value, like I enter 4906.00. When I do that, what happens? It will make the text in red, and I click on OK. What it does, as you can see, this cell particularly consists of that specific value only. So it has highlighted that particular color. So depending on your rule, you can apply any kind of formatting. Okay, so this is what it is related to cells where the it can be highlighted with the help of colors and all. Now apart from that, we have some additional formatting which are known as predefined or preset formatting. So preset formattings are a type of formatting where you can apply it on your sheet and you can provide different types of uh, formatting types, like you can make use of data bars, you can make use of color scales, and you can make use of icons. The data bars, now suppose if I select any of these, what happens? It will represent the data into that particular data bar format instead of providing a plain background. So this is how formattings can be done. I hope it has been clear to all of you. Apart from that, if I choose this particular option, data bar, so what you can do, you can, the moment you do that, what it does, it adds a color to that particular cell depending on its value. Okay, so higher the value, bigger the bar will be, lower the value, lower the bar will be. As you can see, the moment I do this, what it does, as you can see, the size of the bar depends on the value that particular cell has. Now here you can see the value is 18,930, so the bar is bigger. Here the value is 1,344, so the bar is lower. So this is what known as preset condition, preset formatting options, because these are predefined. The only thing is that you have to select the format and the cell will be formatted or highlighted accordingly. Okay, instead of these data bars, if I want to make use of scale colors, so what I do, when I select this particular option, just see, it is very interesting. I select this entire area and I go to this option, I go to color scale. The color scale option allowed me to select some range of colors, and the moment I select range of color, the entire selected area will be highlighted accordingly depending on its value. Okay, so if the value is lesser, the color will be different. If the value is higher, the color will be different. Like if I am selecting this particular option, just see what happens. Green, yellow, red color scale. If I'm using this particular color scale, so just see what happens. It applies the color gradient to a range of cells. The color indicates where each cell value falls within that particular range. So accordingly, it works. The moment I do that, just see what happens. Some cells are represented in yellow color, orange color, green color. So depending on that particular value range. Okay, so this is how you can do that. Just let me remove this particular option. I will remove this particular option, data bar. Okay, and click on OK. When I do that, just see, this cell has a different value where it is represented in green. So you can say that the lower the value, it will be displayed in red. Higher the value, it will be displayed in green. If it is in between, so accordingly the color will vary. And if it is in the middle or between middle values, so it will be displayed in yellow or orange. So like this is how you can see, this is darker, dark red. If any value is greater than that, like somewhat in 2000 range, so the change color will change accordingly. It will get light, then again it will get yellow, and if it is higher than that, it is try to get green, and above that it will become green. So this is how it does. Okay, this is one formatting. Another preset formatting is this icon sets. These icon sets consist of different icons. Okay, like here you have upward, downward, and plain arrow, okay, which is pointing towards the right hand side. Now if I make use of this particular icon, what it does, for the lower values, it will display the downward arrow with the red color. For higher values, it will display the upward arrow with the green color, and for the in between values, it will display the values which are uh, it will display the icon where the arrow is towards the right hand side. So this is how it can be done. In the same way, this option is also there. The same way, this option is also there. Okay, so this is how you can do different kind of formatting. Now whatever you want, you can choose any of them. Okay, the flag option is also there. Ratings are also there. Okay, these bars are also there. So any of these, if you want, you can make use of. So this is what a different types of conditional formattings are there. Now if you want to remove any of the formatting, what you all can do, you can just go to manage rules, and from this manage rule, the moment you click on it, you will be able to see this conditional formatting rule manager dialog box. And here what you can do, on the current selection, if you want, you can delete the rule. The moment you do that, the selected rule will be removed. Like if I want to remove icon set rule, or I want to remove graded color scale, so that particular rule will be removed from that particular sheet. Now you can see the backgrounds are plain, only this icon formattings are applied. Now if you want to remove that also, so just go to that. I think that has been applied correctly. I have to select this particular cells. I need to go to manage rules and just select it and click on delete. If you want, you can edit it also, and if you want to apply something new, you can again go to that and you can perform this option. Okay, this is how the formatting, the conditional formatting can be done. So as we have completed all our today's session, today topics related to today's session, I would like to conclude my session for today, and tomorrow we will start a new topic, that is pivot table. So that is for today. Thank you all of you.